Hi, I'm going to do a video for the new operating system on Mac for Ventura and using Affinity Designer on the F570 printer. So we have a new look for Affinity Designer and for Ventura, so things have changed here a bit. So let's first go to our settings in Affinity. These are also different in Affinity Designer 2.0. So this is what I have. I have reopen document checked, import PSD text as text rather than bitmap, import PSD smart objects where possible, automatically hide extensions, you can uncheck that if you wish, save thumbnails with documents, prefer to keep selection after delete, and that's under general. Under color, sRGB IEC 61966-2.1, same thing for 32-bit. CMYK is the US web coded version 2. Grayscale is grayscale D50. Lab color is a CLab D50. My rendering intent is relative colorimetric. I keep it on that unless I'm using face tones. Then I would put it on perceptual, but you can change that in the program. Right now this is what I have for the default. Black point compensation, worn when assigning working profile to unprofiled files. I don't do anything for this. Perform OCIO conversion based on the file name and warn when converting on load. For performance, I kept this the same. I didn't do anything here. Nothing has changed. Now my user interface, when you first open this, it's all black, and I don't care to work in black. This is how it used to look, so I am using the light. You can change it also, the background here. Let's see. One of them changes there. That's, I don't like it too gray. That's what I use. You can monkey around with the brightness. Sometimes it's way too bright, so we'll just leave it here. Font size default. Again, light, color. And these I keep the same. All these are checked except always show brush crosshairs. Next is tools. Click to show context menu. I have it on default. Force touch contacts. Use scrubby zoom. If you want to use your mouse wheel to zoom, you can check that. You can check select object when it intersects with selection marquee. Don't use that. Enable canvas rotation with trackpad and enable canvas rotation with these signs. I did change the nudges to, they were on, I believe it was points. So I changed everything to inches. That's what we're into. Synchronize tool between documents. I don't do anything here. The assistant comes up now. I have it enabled. You can take it off if you want. These are alerts when you're taking an action. You can take it off if you don't want it. I just left it alone. Link services if you want to upload to Dropbox. I have my software updates for Affinity daily. And reset all these. I have not touched this. And that's what these three are. And then you hit close. and they're going to ask you to restart because I changed some items, but I'm not going to restart now. So I'm going to hit don't restart. So first thing we're going to do is go to File, and we're going to go to New. And also you'll see a different platform here. I'm going to start with, I'm just going to do a letter. I'll show you how to change that also. So if I pick letter, you'll see it down here. You can also change it by, let's say, 17-inch. And I'm just giving an idea by, I don't know, 19. Let's see. You can just change it to anything you want. You'll see it change here. Color, RGB8, sRGB IEC 6192.1. This is what you're working in, not what you're printing in, but you want to keep it in sRGB 8. You'll see there's drop downs, keep it at 8. There's drop downs for this, but you want to make sure you keep it with this. I work with a transparent background because I like to see where things are if I've got any spots in my graphics. Margin, normally this is what you'll see. I always take off include margins. I don't want that line, so I take it off. For bleed, there's 0, 0, and for scale, I don't do anything. Now we're going to create our artboard. So we're going to go to create, and here it is. So we are working whatever I set this up as. Okay. You can always change it too. You can change your, by going to File, Document Setup, and you'll see you can change it here. You can always change what size we want. If we don't want it portrait, just uncheck portrait. And I always have anchor to page, and I hit OK. And now we're going to bring in a graphic. So I am going to go to Place, and again, this is different. It asks you where to go. Sometimes it'll default to the cloud. That's where you keep your graphics. I keep it in a graphics folder. So I had to figure out where that was going, and that's new in the new Mac version. So I'm going to pick, let's see what we got here. We don't need dogs. Let's pick something cute. I do a lot of dogs. All right, let's do this one. Okay, and I'm going to left click on my mouse button, press down, and size it. Okay, and you'll see as I'm moving this, you'll see where it says the width and the height right above my arrow. So you can see what size you want. So if you want your graphic to print 8 by 10, even though I set the paper to a different size, this is where you size your graphic. So, and you can also see over here, if I do 8, you can change everything here as well. My 10. That's how you size your graphic. Now it doesn't look the greatest. You could also nudge it. Again, this is where you see the size of your graphic. So when you're doing on, let's say, letters, let's go back and document setup, just for the heck of it. We're going to do a letter size. So 8.50 by 11. Okay. And you have to unlock this. All right. and we want it in portrait. Okay, so now we have to change our graphic size. So when you're doing a tumbler on 8.5 by 11, actually we need to have that landscape, but you'll get the idea. Let me put it in the landscape. Okay, click outside here. So you're having to do, let's say, a tumbler, and you're using letter size paper, and as you can see here, you do your measurements of what you want your graphic to be. Some are 9 1/4, some are 8 1/2. All depends on what you're doing. So that's how to change sizes and size them correctly. All right, next we're going to go to File and Print, and I'll show you the color setup. So your printer, you're going to have your drop down here. We're going to go here, presets, unless you've set one. You'll find your presets here, your copies, paper size, your letter. You also have them over here, but it must match. If you open it up as an 8 1/2 by 11, you have to have everything match 8 1/2 by 11. The range is entire document. You want to, I do fit to printable. Orientation is automatic unless you want it portrait, landscape. You'll see how it changes over here. So we'll keep it at landscape. Document layout. That's all, everything in document layout. Bleed marks, I don't do anything. I do nothing there. Document layout, single. The layout is, I don't have a border. I don't have any of these checked. I go click this again and go to paper handling. Sheets to print, automatic, scale to fit paper size, I do not have checked. Destination 8 1/2 by 11. You see you can't check it because you've already set it. So I'm going to click that to make it go up. Next is your printer options. And I'm going to go to color matching. It defaults to Epson color. You don't want Epson color. You want color sync. It'll go to profile. You don't want automatic. You want your drop down, and you want textile. You only want to use textile. You will have nothing but color discrepancies if you use this one. I just suggest you use this. So you make sure color sync and textile. The general purpose textile for Epson. Hit OK. Printer settings, this is going to bring you to the printer. This must match, we use letter. So that must match whatever we have on our screen. I'm using the roll of paper 17 inch. You have the option of the auto feeder or sheet. I'm using roll. Again, we have to match here. We set the textile for the Affinity. Now we're setting it in the printer driver. You are wanting to use off no color adjustment because you're using Affinity, so you do not want the printer to use those colors. So the color mode is off, no color management. I don't do anything with settings. Depending on the paper you're using, there are 3: speed, quality, and max. I'm using Infuse, so I'm using max quality. I'm not using finest detail, and I don't use high speed. If you want to use less ink, just use quality. High speed means it goes back and forth real quick, and it may give you those lines. Finest detail is for if you have a picture with a lot of detail, you will use that. But right now I'm using infused paper. I did for Epson paper that comes with it, you would use the maximum quality and finest detail. That does use more ink. You can do it without the finest detail, but again, it's up to you. Alright, I hit OK for that. Now we're going to advance. This is important. If you're using the roll, you want to put Save Roll Paper. These are the advanced media. I don't do anything with this for the color density. I leave it alone. I hit OK. And printer information, we know what that is, but let's go look at it. Nothing to see. The name of the printer, those are your supply levels, how much ink you have, and really that's it. And then you would hit print. So really that's it with Ventura for Mac. As you see, things have changed a great deal. I'm still learning it. But that should do it. And if you like my video, just give me the thumbs up. And thanks for watching.